All right, we're back. We're doing chapter 4, video number 6. We're going to move on to this next little program here called Are You Legal? So, again, understanding the problem. So if you open up the executable and you look at it, are you legal? What does that mean? Well, if you type in some numbers, let's go 18 and click 18 years old, and let's click on check. Are you old enough to go to Douglas College? So it's to determine how old you have to be to go to Douglas College. It's legal to go if you're 18, but if you're 14, you are too young to go to Douglas College. Unless you get, I guess, some kind of special consent. So what we're looking at here is a program that takes a numeric value here, and it's going to evaluate that, and it's going to come up with a decision of whether you are too young or you can go to Douglas College. If you type in something like 10 and you click check, the computer has to be coded so that you can detect errors. These are called exception handling, and we'll be factoring this into the program as well. So you have to put in an age as a number. So this is like basically an error message that we're going to design with a title, an icon, and a message. All right, so that's pretty close to everything that this one really does. Of course, let's type in 100. If I hit the Alt key, you can see here I've got it for the Alt H. So we go Alt H, and it let's go in here. Let's go 44 Alt H, and it works. All right, so we understand what the problem is. So let's go into the coding itself. So let's close this down for now. What I've done is I've double-clicked on my check, and I've created an event handler here. When I click the check button, I want it to execute my code. All right, so when we first started off with something like this, because we're going to be inputting data, we're going to be processing data, and then outputting data, it's not a bad idea to start off with this sort of declare, assign, calculate, or some kind of condition that we are going to do, and then some kind of output. And again, this just helps us. That DACO model just helps us sort of organize what we need to do. So ask yourself the question, is there something that we need to do to declare, is there a variable that we need to declare here? Well, typically if you've got some form of input that the user is doing, you're going to declare it and assign it to a variable type. So let's start there. We know we have to enter in an age, so we're going to declare a variable as what data type. So is it a string? Are we going to type in TEN? No. Are we going to type in just a number? Yes. So what kind of number data type are we going to do? We've got different types. We've got integer, we've got decimal, and other ones that we'll look at as we progress through the course. Of course, age is simply a whole number. It's an integer value. It's not going to be a decimal, so let's declare it as an integer, and I'm going to call it age. So what I'm doing is I'm setting up in the computer memory the age. So for now, that's probably all I really need. And I have an extra option at this point by assigning its value at the same time. So by declaring a variable called age and then say equal to 0, I've actually set up in the computer memory a variable label called age, and I've put in a value. If I don't do this, it puts in nothing or null by default. Do I have to do that? No. So it may have an impact later on if somebody doesn't enter something. It could have a change to how the program works. So you can or you can't, doesn't matter. I'm going to put it in for now. And let's go down to the assignment statement. So now that we've got the variable set up, now what we want to do is assign age to it. So we're going to go back in and type in age is equal to, and what do I want age to equal to? I want it to equal whatever was typed into this text box. And that text box, if I click on it, you can see over here it's called age text box, and your naming convention might be slightly different than mine, but that's fine. So I'm going to go type in age text box dot, and then I'm going to use the property called text. All right, now when I type this in, it comes up with an error. And the reason it's coming up with an error is because if you look at the little pop-up box, it says it cannot implicitly convert a string to an integer. And it means that when you type in the number, your age, if you're, let's say, 22 years old, it's typing it in as a string. And the integer, the age is an integer. So it's actually saving it